it was always meant to be a temporary thing. But then it's like you fall for potential and you're like, well, maybe, you know, I can be strategic and like use this as an opportunity to grow. And then you fall for, I don't know, short term gratifications. Like you feel seen, you feel wanted, you feel part of something, community. It was nice not, you know, feel so alone as well. Like where I had, where someone had been a big part of my life for so long and then to go from that to nothing. So I just want to keep my surroundings busy. I don't know, call that distraction, maybe. And maybe it was also being a coward. Like I didn't fully bet on myself. I just thought, I forgot to mention, but obviously with us moving to Mexico, it wasn't just purely the relationship. Like I literally went all in and took and betted on myself in the sense of I started up my passion projects, started creating, started doing the things that I loved and always talked about doing, and obviously I had the support from my ex, but mostly it was me. Like, and I sorry, I'm jumping, but I just thought I had to mention that because I mean this is the big defining moment. It's like for a long time I thought I had to need someone to do this big life with, and I just have to give myself some credit. Like a lot of it was my delusional thinking to have the courage to do it, but then obviously along the way I was like, no, maybe I need to get realistic. But anyway, sorry, come back to current day ish. Yeah, I think along the way I was like, it's irresponsible of me to not have an income, not to have a job, and I can balance it. People doing this with, I don't know, a couple of kids, a marriage, da da da. Like, what excuse do I have as a singleton? But then it's all well and good, and it did work, and I always feel like it feels unfair to not be grateful. I am grateful and really appreciative of a lot of the opportunities that has come along and the people I've met. But also when you're not aligned with your soul's purpose, regardless if it's part time, regardless if it's like an easy job, but if it starts to drain you and eats away of what you know you're capable of, your potential, and you're like, "Wow, man, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, I can't believe I'm not living my soul purpose." And I think especially when you have done it, I think that's the hardest part to really digest. And then you gaslit yourself. And then you're like, no, because I have to, like, I've got to, you come up with XYZ reasons. Yeah. You need to have an income. You can't be selfish. You can't just, yeah, sure, your parents are there to support you, but you also need to, like, have your own money and also to invest in yourself, reinvest, etc., etc., and also to live, right? But along the way, you're gaslighting yourself to the point, again, you swore to yourself you will not lose yourself. After that relationship, you were like, I was so sure that I will never lose myself for a man. I will never do it at the expense, at the cost of my own self. And yet I'm doing it for a job, for some monies, which is not even a lot of monies. And like, the one thing that's rings true for me is that how you do one thing is how you do a lot of other things too. That's a really crap way of saying that. How you do one thing is how you do everything else in your life. The same principle applies to everything else. And I've tried so long to compartmentalize. And I think with like an income, a job, it's different. Like it's your well being, it's your livelihood, right? But you could say the same about a man, right? And then obviously when that I had to let go of that, everything else carried on. Do you know what I mean? Everything just ticked along, and you open up space for more to come into your life, for more good, whatever. And I just want to stick with safety, security. And it's like, when you see that same cycle, same habit, same loop, that's obviously happened with like a person with an ex, but you're doing it now in the form of a job. Okay, sure. there are people involved in the dynamic, but ultimately it's a job. And it's it's hard because it's like, damn, you're doing this to yourself, which you swore you wouldn't do again. Yeah, I don't know why that's a massive pill to swallow, and it's all just kind of making sense in my head. And it's like, I was so adamant. I was like, no, this is just temporary. And obviously, I was there as a temp. And then, you carry on. And then you're like, and yeah, of course, like, I have to look at this in hindsight. Like, I have been able to have that time, free time to like do my own thing, work on my own stuff, have my own life, go out, not be in like complete survival, worry, penny pinch. Like, I am so fully aware of all of this. Go back to the same point. When you know you're made for more, capable of so much more, and then you shrink to a role that you, even though you try to compartmentalize, it was just on my day job, but you shrink to that level, literally. Like, just the same way that I'm now doing this half marathon training, and after doing literally like 20 kilometers the other day, when I was only meant to do 14, that boost of confidence that I got to know, like, wow, I am so capable of this and more. Like, you move differently, you act differently, you glide through the world with a different air of confidence. And I think we have to kind of like acknowledge that, it may be a job just to serve its purpose. But yeah, I think in regards to that, I've been playing it too safe, which is not and to be honest, it's not safe, right? Like, I've got my probation coming up soon, and at this point, like, it's so 50-50 about where it's heading. And I don't know how I've been feeling about it. And I'm just kind of like, I think for me, it's more about, if they let me go, I actually be like, fine, it's meant to be, it's time to move forward. And actually, it's kind of a sigh of relief, like, to just focus on my own thing. Because I know that if they keep me on, I'll be like, you know what? Again, you kind of stick to what you know, like, relatively enjoy my day, my time there. I feel like I definitely could be making most of. I feel like I've got more in me. Do you know what I mean? It's not, like I've said, it's not the company. I like the people I work with. I like that I get to just be me, and I haven't ever experienced that in a corporate setting. But in terms of its role, I've just got so much in me that it's just like, I'm not feeling fulfilled. So yeah, back to it chipping away at your soul. Over time, it's literally eroded out where, again, you lose self trust. And I don't want to say that because I feel like I have been, but I think that's why I was feeling a bit stuck, especially creatively, and I was feeling a bit lost. Like, where am I meant to be going? And I literally had a moment of like coming back to the current day right now. And obviously, I've been doing the kind of warm up, the little steps. So obviously, sticking to the habits that I said I was going to like start tackling, and then on the side as well, I've been listening to like affirmations, sleep meditations, making sure I listen to positive, growing, like self-development podcasts. And it's been really been helping because again, it all starts with mindset, and it's now giving me the courage, like, okay, it's time that I need to tackle the thing that I've been avoiding for the last how many months, and that is gaining clarity about the direction I'm heading. Because for a long time, the last few months, I was just like, wherever life takes me, I'm just trying my best here, there, da da da. And then I literally kept saying out loud, like, I'm spreading myself too thin. Like, I felt burnt out. I felt like my energy's dispersed in so many different directions, and I just felt like I was spreading myself too thin. And sure, you're trotting along, right? But when you're laser focused, you have clarity, like, you can do things quick, like half the time, or with even more love and energy and stuff. Like, sometimes it's so obvious when you post something, like, that's some dead energy, but when you give it your all, like, it just comes so differently. And sometimes I think about, compared to like how I used to post prior working here compared to now, like the energy was different. I was way more creative. I was taking more risks because it's like, and I think because you also don't feel, you can be yourself. Do you know what I mean? You're not thinking about, oh, what so and so is saying, or who, like me associating with someone. I don't know, like just simple dumb things like that. But anyway, I'm skirting around this now. But I think now I'm at that point, as I was saying, where I need to do what I've been avoiding, which is gaining clarity and control about the direction I'm going. Because, you know, I think when you don't have that, you feel so out of control and you feel angry, you feel bitter, you feel like just dead energy going through life, right? But when you refocus, you feel charged again, you have this new leaf of life. But I've known in my heart that, okay, I need to do this next point, this next direction. But I literally had a moment today where I was like, I've forgotten my why. I've literally forgotten my why I started this business. I mean, if someone asked me right now, I wouldn't know how to really fully answer it, being genuine, like sincere, like passionate from the heart, right? And throughout the last few weeks, a lot's been come to surface about where my focus should be, where I feel emotion charged, passionate about, which is like kind of, is it a span in the works? I don't know. I'm intrigued. Like I want to investigate what this is, right? But I literally was like, shoot, how have I come to this point where I'm like, I've forgotten my why? And no wonder why I've like been ignoring things, avoiding things, and all my energy's been off, and I've been posting stuff like, because you're just posting anything really. So, with that being said, obviously I just had to like air that. No, I feel like that was quite therapeutic. I think that was really therapeutic, but I don't know. I don't know exactly the step by step, but whatever that I feel called, I'm gonna just record and share. But starting off, I felt really called. Obviously, when I was saying I don't remember or know what my why is, this book, I've always seen it in my local Waterstones, and it's always like front facing, sat always like this, and it's never like, it's one of those books where it's caught my eye, but I'm like, it's just, I've said it so many times. I'm a true believer that you read a book when the time is right, when it's meant for you, and this literally front page came to my mind. Start with why. Wait, my hair. Start with why. Simon Sinek. How great leaders inspire everyone to take action. So I'm going to read this. I've been rotating a few books. It's not like I've lost interest, but again, when you're when you're going through a particular phase in life, you want to understand and you're more intrigued by a certain topic in a certain area. So I'm always kind of like switching. Life moves fast in this day and age, so no wonder why I'm literally rotating between like at this point 4, 5 books. I don't know. I also bought another book, but I mean I can show you, but that's more mindset, which I find really interesting. I had great reviews online. I was intrigued. I've been like kind of reading the preface. Psycho Cybernetics from Maxwell Maltz. It's a very old book, 1960, but this is obviously like a new edition. I haven't read it obviously, but the context is like you revert to the identity that you know. Like, even though you have these big goals and dreams, but you ultimately revert to that self identity until you work on that basically. So I thought that was really interesting, which ties in really well. So that will come later on or whenever I feel called. So I'll be posting what comes next. I have an idea of like, I need to go inwards, obviously, and question a few things. But to help with that, let me show you the next book. To help with going inwards, I have this book to help with, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. This will literally be the third time that I'm restarting. Okay, I bought this last summer, and for some reason I just get halfway, or like not even halfway, and it got sidetracked, distracted, lives happens, got busy. For whatever shape or reason, I haven't been able to complete it. And again, I've heard amazing, testimonials from doing the book. It says a spiritual path to higher creativity. And it's a great practice, an exercise to really like dig deep and go inwards, of like reconnecting to yourself basically, and to source, to your higher self, to God, whatever you want to call it, and to like rediscover your passions. And literally, as I'm reading the blurb, and take the steps you need to change your life. So I think this is obviously a good guiding format, but yeah, I'm going to commit to completing this, which will be really interesting to see what comes about. Because I'm very curious. I'm genuinely curious because I've heard some crazy life-changing testimonials. But yeah, in regards to gaining clarity about my dream life, like I have been like doing a lot more visualization, and I have certain visions that come up. But I think again, you know, where I said is having that courage to dream big, and I think that's key with like nurturing your inner self, your inner child, to feel it's safe again to do that, to trust yourself to do that. I think obviously after everything that happened, maybe I got scared and was like, wow, because it takes great responsibility. And also, yeah, when it crumbled, I was just like, never again do I want to kind of experience this again. Like, so maybe that's what's prevented me from dreaming big, wanting to be realistic. But like, I can't live a life half fulfilled, half lived. Like, it's just not in me. Definitely been taking some steps to make myself feel safe again, trust myself, which I'm sure this book will help with that. And yeah, and whatever comes up, I'll obviously be sharing too. But yeah, that's what I wanted to share. So if anyone does happen to watch this all the way to the end, well, thank you. And I genuinely hope the next 4 months will be a life-changing, big life pivot, you know, in the direction that you need to go. And you get to a point where you fulfill your dreams, your hopes, and just show to yourself like you can do it. You are more than capable, and it's possible. It's it's possible for all of us. I get that. See, this is what I mean. Like, I need to own it. I need to get comfortable because it's capable for all of us. So yeah, we've got this, and I hope yeah, you stay committed on the course. And I think that's one of the things where I'm really grateful that there's a community out there who are like doing the whole lock-in season, because it's nice when you have people along on the same journey, and you've like just that energy just rubs off on you, and you're kind of going through the same thing. You're navigating, learning to understand, see each other from, you know, each other in other people's stories, you know, and apply it to your own life. So I hope this video gives you that. All right, let's do it. I'm gonna wrap up with like doing some tasks, and then I think I'm gonna start with starting off week 1. I can't remember, and then and read this to go to sleep with. So let's do it. See ya.